Stacey Flowers, and I'm a student of Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University, and I'm on a journey to become 100% debt free. My current debt is nearly $180,000. I'm on baby step number 2 to repay all of my debts, and my current income is right around $10,000 a month, and I work exclusively for myself part time. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the 5 emotions that ruin your budget every single time. So, if you are interested in that, please keep watching. So I'm hoping that I've cleared up the sound. I'm super close to the camera. You guys know that I am in Kigali, Rwanda right now. I am doing a little bit of work abroad, but I wanted to stay connected because I had an entire rest month where I didn't talk to you guys. And that was very challenging, so I'm super excited to be coming to you live. And today I specifically wanted to talk about the emotions that are ruining your budget. We are coming to the end of, good morning. We are coming to the, I don't know why they set this up this way, because in order for my eyes to look like they're at the camera, I have to look over here instead of looking there. But I wanted to start talking a little bit more about the things that I'm learning. I'm in a very different place in my budget right now. Many of you guys have been following me since I worked part-time at a cafe and I was earning about $800 a month. To now where I am, and there's so many things that I'm learning so quickly, and rather than me waiting until I've learned everything, I'm trying to get it all documented in real time so that way you guys can reap the benefit. And for those of you guys who want to get started on a debt-free journey, or just want to get started in managing your personal finances better, I think now is a really incredible time to start. You guys know I started my journey in October of 2017. Yes, October of 2007. Was it? Yes, October. Was it? Yes, that's right, right? It was October of 2017. Yes. Okay. You guys know I started, sorry. You know I started my journey in October of 2017, and now here we are a year and a half later, and I'm in a much different place because I actually got started. And so a lot of these videos are really just about helping you to get started, and offering you insight to inspire you into action to get started. Because no matter what your personal finance goal is, if it's to get out of debt, if it's to save, if it's to buy a house, if it's to just be financially savvy, no matter what it is, taking a look at your personal finances through a budget is a really excellent, super fantastic, amazing place to start. So I do want to talk about the 5 emotions that will ruin your budget every single month, and they're probably actually the 5 emotions that keep people from doing, no, that's not fair. I think people don't do their budget for a totally different reason than people not sticking to their budget, and maybe we'll talk about that at some other time. But one of the reasons why emotions are incredibly important is, you guys know that I have a philosophy that your thoughts become your feelings and your feelings become your actions. It's not actually my philosophy. It's just something that I've learned throughout a lot of the books that I've read, and it's been popularized by a lot of teachers. But in general, the way that the world works, that people don't understand, and I think that when you don't understand this, life is much more complicated, not just financially, but just in general. When you don't understand that your thoughts are what make you feel what you feel, and what you feel is what determines your behavior, you don't live life with as much control as you could have, but also you're not as mindful about what's going on in your mind. And not a lot of people teach you about how powerful your mind is, and it's powerful because your thoughts literally control everything. And so what people tend to think is that their actions control everything, because if I take this action, I'm going to feel this way, and if I feel this way, I'm going to think this way. That is a misunderstanding of the way that things work. And so the reason I want to focus on emotion is because emotion is right in between your thought, and it's in between your action. And if we can figure out what emotion is going on, then potentially you can do the inner work to change your thought, or you can do the outer work to change your emotion so that your action naturally follows. Um, so that's sort of just the way that it's organized. Your thoughts become your feelings they don't become, your thoughts inform your feelings inform your actions. You are never taking an action that goes against your feeling. Unless someone is forcing you to do it, you're never taking an action that goes against your feeling. And when it comes to budgeting, people have a lot of feelings that come up, and one of the reasons why people don't stick to their budget is because of these 5 feelings that come up. So the first feeling that comes up is a feeling of shame. And shame is an emotion that makes you feel like you are a bad person. And so what happens is we will do a monthly budget. We will write everything down and we'll be like, this is what I'm going to do with my money. This is why I'm going to do it with my money. This is how much money I'm making, and I'm going to put it here, and I'm going to do this. And then we'll go about our day, month, weeks, whatever. We're living our day to day, and then something will come up, and suddenly we find ourselves in a situation where we blew our budget, and we're like, why did I do that? Like, I already know I'm supposed to be spending everything here. I know exactly what I'm supposed to buy. Like, why did I do that? And a lot of us do it because we feel shame. We feel shame for the stuff that we want. So, for example, in the food category, like, this is a place where a lot of people feel shame because food is associated with your body, and sometimes when we have issues about our body, it plays out in our food. And so a lot of people break their budget around food because they feel shame, which is just an emotion that says, I am bad. So if you have a budget and it says, this is how much I'm supposed to spend in the food category, but then when you go to the grocery store, you feel like you are inherently a bad person, it'll be easier for you to break your food budget so that way you can buy something in the food category to feel better, right? So if I feel like I'm inherently a bad person because I'm, maybe I'm failing at work, or I'm failing in my marriage, or I'm having some difficulty, or something terrible, I did something terrible in my past, if I have that underlying feeling that I'm inherently a bad person, then when I go to the store to do my grocery shopping, I'm going to want to buy something to make me not feel that feeling, and then I'm going to break my grocery budget. Or we'll give ourselves pocket money, and we'll be like, oh, I have $50 in pocket money, but I feel like a bad person, but I don't want to feel like a bad person, so let me buy a dress so that I don't feel that emotion. And as I'm saying it out loud, it probably doesn't seem like the two connect, but that's the way that, like, emotions work versus our logic. Like, logically, it doesn't make sense to think, oh, let me buy a tub of ice cream because I feel like I'm a bad person. That doesn't make any sense, but so many people do that because if I eat the ice cream, the sugar, the ingredients, the feeling, the taste, the flavors, it will numb my experience of me feeling as bad as I actually feel. So a lot of people break their budgets because they feel so much shame, and so in the categories that they can overspend, they buffer and overspend so that way they don't feel the feelings of feeling bad. And so if you find yourself month to month writing a budget and then breaking it in each category, check in with yourself to see if there is any feeling of shame. And again, the shame doesn't have to be about the category that you're going over in. Just the experience of shame will cause you to say, listen, I feel like I'm inherently a bad person. Because I feel like I'm inherently a bad person, I don't want to feel that right now, so I'm going to go ahead and blow my budget and get something that makes me feel something else. Right? So that's one emotion. Another emotion that keeps people busting their budget is the feeling of blame. So when you feel blame, and specifically when you feel blame, like, oh, and blame is just, it's not my fault, right? Like, when I feel like it's not my fault and it's somebody else's fault, that will cause me to break my budget. So for example, if I put a budget and I put a budget for my car note, and I put a budget for my car insurance, and I put a budget for gas, and I put a budget in there for all of these different things, all of my needs, all of my debts, and all the other stuff. But then suddenly I'm feeling the feeling of blame and wanting to blame someone else, or like, my husband, I'm not married, but if I was married, like, well, let me just go with my boyfriend. Well, I don't have a boyfriend. Tell y'all my business. Here we go. So if I was in a relationship and, it would be easier for me to be like, oh, the reason I broke my budget is because, it was my boyfriend's birthday this month, and I didn't want to make him feel like just because I was on a budget that he had to, like, we will blame someone else for us going up, like us doing something outside of our budget. Or even we'll blame our parents. We'll be like, oh, well, my mom never taught me how to do this, my dad never taught me how to do this, and so because nobody ever taught me how to do it, then if I make a mistake, it's okay. And we're not consciously thinking this. This is sort of an unconscious thing, because feelings happen so quick that once the feeling washes over you, it sort of gives you the permission to take the action to break your budget. So anytime you feel blame, like it's my boyfriend's fault, my husband's fault, my kid's fault, my boss's fault, work's fault, stress's fault, anybody else's fault but your responsibility, blame will always have you bursting your budget, because if you don't accept full responsibility for every single dollar that you earn and every single dollar that you spend, and you're like, well, I only broke my budget because the kids needed socks, or I only broke my budget because I wanted to be able to be there for my friend, or I only broke my budget because it's not that big of a deal and I know I can put it back. Anytime you feel the feeling of blame and your ability to be able to blame someone else outside of you, and you're not accepting responsibility, you are in dangerous territory for breaking your budget, because blame gives you the permission to do something, because blame says I am not responsible. But when it comes to money, whether you're in debt, you're trying to buy a house, you're trying to save, or whatever, and this is something that I'm telling myself about saving, because I would love to believe, oh, I'm just not a saver. That's ridiculous. I can save for when I want to save for stuff. Like, remember when I moved, right? Like, I just don't want to save, and I need to do some work to figure that out. But, when you're blaming someone or a circumstance or a pattern or whatever for your behavior, you're not accepting responsibility that, like, nope, this is my money that I earned and my money that I spent. Like, you have to accept responsibility. But the second it's the kid's fault or anybody else's fault, you are in danger of breaking your budget. The third feeling the third emotion that people have, and it causes them to break their budget, is the emotion of guilt. And guilt says that I have done something bad. And again, it's one of those negative emotions that we don't want to feel. So sometimes what happens when we don't want to feel guilty is that, and this used to happen with me a lot, but when we don't want to feel guilty, so say we set a budget and we're like, all right, I have $100 for this, or I'm not gonna spend this $500, and then something comes up and you spend $5.74 out of the $500, and then you're like, well, I already broke the seal. I already done spent out of the 500, so I might as well get what I want. Like, that feeling of like, I've done something bad already, so I might as well do the rest of it. If I'm gonna feel this way anyway, I may as well blow the whole budget. This is something that happens quite a lot with shopping, where people will be like, oh, I'm only gonna get one thing because I have this in my budget and this is it. But then it's like, well, I've already gone over budget by $20. What's $100? I've already spent this money I wasn't supposed to spend, so I might as well get it all out of my system now. That feeling of I have done something bad will cause you to burst your budget nearly every single month. Guilt was a really intense emotion that I needed to get rid of. It was rooted in something even deeper than just some of the surface level things that I'm telling you guys now, and I'll make sure I link those videos of me releasing shame and guilt, so that you guys can see what I mean when I say that, like, when these emotions are driving your behavior month to month, it's inevitable that you're going to break your budget. When you feel like you've already done something bad, you're not going to attempt to do the right thing, even if the right thing puts you in a better place financially, emotionally, physically. Like if you think about people who have a choice between paying their rent and then buying an outfit for a concert, it's like, well, I already bought my concert ticket and I'm already late on my rent, so I might as well, just go ahead and get the rest of it and just be the rest of the way late. Or or I don't know if you guys have this in your apartment, but in my apartment, rent is due on the 1st, but you have until the 5th to pay it before penalty. So a lot of times people will be like, well, I know it's due on this date, but it's already the 6th, so what difference does it make when I pay it? That feeling of I've done something bad, it almost gives you permission to do bad worth the level of guilt that you feel, because usually you feel guilty over something small, but you're like, if I'm gonna feel guilty anyway, I'm gonna feel it guilty, right? So that is an emotion that definitely busts your budget, and you want to take care of that emotion. The fourth emotion that busts budgets everywhere all the time, no matter the country, city, state that you are in, is the emotion of entitlement. And entitlement just says, I deserve it. Entitlement is the feeling that I deserve it, not I want it, not I need it, not I desire it, but I deserve it. And that feeling of I deserve it breaks more budgets than probably guilt, shame, and blame combined, because entitlement puts you outside of the you that you are inside of your personal finances. Entitlement says, I get where she is in her personal finances, but me, this other projected version of me, is so much more worthy than this person who created the mess that I'm in. Like, you are not more worthy than the financial situation that you put yourself in financially. Now, worth inherently, you are worthy. I'm not talking about that. But I'm talking about when people are like, well, I work hard, I deserve it. That feeling of entitlement, of deserving because you worked hard, is an emotion that is not useful when it comes to you trying to stick to a budget. And it's not useful when it comes to you sticking to a budget because you are separating who you are truly financially to this projected version of you that's so worthy of all these things. And it's just like, I'm not saying that you're not worthy of those things, but when it comes to sticking to your budget, if you actually want to honor it, you can't allow yourself to think the thoughts that create the feeling of entitlement, because you will break your budget. And the thoughts that create that feeling is, I worked hard all week, I deserve this cupcake. This was a rough week and my boss, she almost lost an employee, so I deserve it. Or, I sold, like, I have a speaker training that I'm selling right now. It's just like, I sold, 5 clients, invested in speaker training, like, I deserve a steak because, my speaker training is a premium price thing and 5 people have invested, so I deserve to be able to eat this level of meat right now. Like, that feeling of entitlement and the thoughts that make you feel entitled will break your budget every time, because entitlement does not take into consideration who you really are, or not who you are, but where you really are at financially. And where you're really at financially, if you're following my journey and you're inspired to go on your own, you're probably on a journey somewhere trying to become 100% debt free. And you have to watch your thoughts so that you can manage for that feeling of entitlement, because entitlement will rob you of the future financial success that you want to be able to have. And thankfully, I don't naturally have a huge entitlement problem. It comes in different places, and you guys see that with what I choose to invest in my body, mentally, physically, and emotionally, and even the food that I tend to eat. But I don't invest in Whole Foods or invest in a trainer or invest in a therapist from an entitled perspective, or an entitled emotion or thoughts about entitlement. I actually invest in it from a perspective of necessity. Like, I am the person who's going to be repaying this debt, so I need to make sure that I'm healthy enough to be able to do it. But if I did it from a place of entitlement, as bad as many of you all think that it is now, what I spend in that area, it would be catastrophically more intense. Like, way more intense. Like, for example, like, I deserve a workout outfit. I've successfully been going to my trainer for 7 months. I deserve all new workout clothes. I deserve new workout shoes. Like, is that what you think? Like, if the emotion entitlement was fueling that decision, that's what would happen. And obviously I would break my budget every single month. And so a lot of people break their budget because they have a feeling of entitlement, which basically says, I deserve this. And then last but certainly not least, the 5th emotion that causes you to break your budget really often is the emotion of fear. And fear is just, I'm in danger, I'm in pain, I'm in threat. When we feel like we're in danger, pain, or threat, we don't have, literally, I think biologically, we don't have the ability to contemplate the future or think about the future. And so the way that my therapist had explained it to me one time, she was just like, when you're in terror, it's kind of like if a saber-toothed tiger was like coming to like kill you, you don't have time to think about, well, what are my plans for the next 10 days? Because a saber-toothed tiger is trying to come and kill you. All you have time to think about is, how do I get away from the saber-toothed tiger? And the immediate thing that kicks in is fight, flight, or fawn. And so you're running on this sort of instinctual thing than you are running on actual logic. And so that same sort of thing happens in our finances. When we are fearful, when we're terrified, when we don't know what's gonna happen next month financially, it causes us to take action toward our finances that tend to be action that breaks our budget. And you'll see this sometimes with people saying, well, it's not gonna matter anyway. It's only gonna get worse from here. I already know they're gonna repossess the car. I already know I'm about to get evicted. I already know. Like, when people are in really dire financial straits, but they don't, you're like, why are you not thinking about the future? It's not that they're not trying to, but they're overwhelmed by the feeling of fear, and fear prevents you from being able to plan and think about the future. And then you not being able to plan and think about the future, you literally don't care about what's happening. And so it begins to bust your budget, because you'll set up all these categories, but you'll be so afraid that it's like, what's the point of honoring this if I can't think about that there's going to be a next month, or I can't think about that there's going to be a next week? I might as well get all the food that I want to get this month. I might as well not pay towards my debt and put it towards personal stuff that I want, because I'm in pain, I'm in threat, I'm in danger, and that's all that's paramount. That's all that matters. And so those are the 5 emotions that will ruin your budget every single month. And the work is, right? So it's like, okay, Stacey, why are you telling me this? I'm telling you this because if you can learn how to manage your mind so that that way when you feel these feelings, rather than you trying to get rid of the feeling by destroying, by overspending, right? Because that's what we're doing. We feel shame, we feel guilt, we feel blame, we feel entitled, or we feel fear, and we're like, I don't want to feel this, so let me go buy something, right? Like, I don't want to feel these emotions, so let me go buy something. Let me buy more food. Let me buy clothes. Let me buy something for the kids. Let me buy something for my spouse. Like, let me go buy something so this thing that I'm buying can change the way that I feel. I'm suggesting that rather than doing that, one, maybe you just allow this emotion to be here and you explore and do maybe some journaling and to say, hey, I didn't realize that I felt so much guilt and that's what was busting my budget every month. Or I didn't realize that I felt this entitled and that my entitlement has turned into a beautiful shoe collection and wardrobe, but I literally have no dollars in the bank. Like, one emotion that is pretty dominant for me, I think, as it relates to saving is fear. So I want to learn how to want to save. I don't have that desire in any way, shape, or form right now. And you would think I would because I love business and blah blah blah. But I think because I've always had income and my income potential has always been high, it didn't create enough of a care for saving because I'm like, I'll just go make some money. But I need to get over that, and I'm going to learn how to get over that. And I think that that's probably going to be my number one financial goal for 2020 is to become a saver. But I digress. My point is that when I'm not saving because I'm in such a state of fear that, like, saving for the future doesn't matter to me as much as taking care of right now. I'm aware of that. So when, for example, with the Dave Ramsey plan, I only have to save $1,000 emergency fund, which is there. But you guys know, if you watch my budget from yesterday, that I'm doing a sinking fund for dental and vision. So there's savings that goes in that. But in order for me to leave that money there, and I think it's like $330 or something like that, and not go buy clothes or like go get some food that I want or go do something else that I want with that, like, in order, like, because I think the $1,000 in the Dave Ramsey program is safe because I just want to honor the Dave Ramsey program. But the $300 and some in the sinking fund for dental and vision, I'm like, is that real? I don't know if it has to stay there. I don't know. Like, I'm already in my mind trying to think up of reasons why it's okay for me to totally spend that money. Now, we will see come next month if I break my budget. And if I do, I know it will be because of the emotion of fear, because I'm more afraid about not spending the money right now, because if I don't spend it right now, like, something may happen and then it, like, and so all this month I'm going to be managing for that emotion of fear. I'm probably also going to be managing for the emotion of blame as well, because I'll probably be like, like, I'm in Kigali, Rwanda right now, and so I could easily be like, oh, well, I need extra money while I'm here. I'm traveling abroad, or, oh, my son is going back to school. Like, there's so many things I could blame going into that sinking fund on this month. And rather than doing that, I'm going to do exactly what I'm telling you guys to do. I'm going to manage for that emotion, and I'm going to try to change my thoughts so that way I can change that feeling, that emotion, and ultimately change my behavior, so that way I don't break my budget. I honor my budget. I put the money towards my debt. I put the money in my sinking fund, and I pay all of the other expenses that I have there. So that is what I want for you. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I would love to answer your questions. I'm taking out my laptop now. I would love to answer your questions or comments. You are welcome to ask me anything. I miss you, so I want to talk. And I'd love to hear from you. So let me pull you up. Let me get you guys turned on. Oh man, we have people in here being weird. You make weird pants. Gonna have to get them blocked. It's just gonna be another second before I see you guys, but definitely pop, or not see you guys, but have your questions over here. Definitely pop your questions in the question box. I mean, not the question box, I was on Instagram. Pop your questions in the comments and I'll grab them. And if you give me just a little bit, I'll be able to also take care of those people who are being a little bit rude. But hello, I'm so excited to be chatting with you guys. I think I can turn my camera around and show you guys the garden. It's so beautiful here. So, so beautiful. I don't know if you guys can kind of see that heel that's like right there in the back and all that stuff. It's just, I love it. I'm so, so grateful to be able to be here. This has been an amazing trip so far. Amazing, amazing trip. You guys can see that I'm getting tan too. Yes, I am. Let us see. All right, so let's go into questions. I'm gonna try to go back up to the top. So good morning, Miss Happy Feet. Good morning, Micaiah, Rachel Grant, Summer Baby 88. I am in Kigali, Rwanda. Colors of Avon, hello. Did I miss the budget with me Q&A live portion? I only saw the budget planning. Yes, I tried to get online and it didn't my Wi-Fi didn't let me connect, so I just ended up not doing the Q&A. So I apologize for that, but if you have any questions here, I would love to be able to get those answered. S. Norris said, good morning from Portland. Good morning, good morning. NG, good morning. Long time. Indeed. I missed you guys so, so much. Allison Robinson said, good morning, good morning, good morning. Miss Happy Feet said, I can associate these to losing weight also. It's resonating. Yeah, losing weight and getting rid of debt have very similar correlations. I'm not someone who struggles with my debt, so I can't speak to it 1,000%, but it is very, very similar correlations. Let's see. Miss BO123 said, welcome back. Thank you so much. Kimmy 2010 said, we're in Africa, Rwanda, Kigali, Rwanda. Allison Robinson said, wow, powerful observations for a Monday. Indeed, indeed. Listen, my finances have totally blown my mind, first of all. Like, I'm so grateful to be in the position that I am financially, and I want as many people to be able to be in their version of where I am, because it feels amazing. And I don't know, and this is something that I may talk about at a later time, but like, I was even talking to my friend and my therapist, and I was just like, because money touches everything, there's a lot that we don't do because of money. And like, one of the things I'm realizing now as I'm working on like, romance and love, is that like, I really couldn't afford to feel the way that I wanted to feel. Like, I literally couldn't afford my feelings at one point. And just being financially secure enough to be emotionally available for a real relationship, blowing my mind how those are correlated. And I think because people are like, money can't buy happiness and money can't buy love and love is all that matters, like, I never really understood how important financial security is to your emotional availability. Like, you may like someone, care about them, etc., but like, let me not say you, me. I may like someone, care about them, but when I am financially insecure, I am not emotionally available. And if I'm not emotionally available, then I'm not as present to the relationship as I would want to be in order to call that a healthy, happy, whole relationship. So even me working through my emotions, me working through my finances, it's having a transformational impact on my relationships. So, and this is across the board: romantic, my relationship with my son, my relationship with my parents, my relationships with my siblings. Transformational. Like, it's transformational. It's amazing. So, indeed. Debt-free D said, good morning, good morning, good morning. Allison Robinson said, these issues are very tied to my struggles with, oh yes, losing weight, yes. RLM3, good morning. I'm excited that I was able to catch you live. I'm excited as well. Ruby Inspired It said, what is a sinking fund? Vision and dental, never heard of that. So a sinking fund is essentially where you create a savings account, and then strategically, month to month, you put a portion of your income in it in order to fund a later purchase. So I want to get my teeth cleaned and looked at and everything to make sure that they're okay. And I also want to update I'm going to keep the same glasses, but I want to update my lenses. So dental and vision, I'm just creating a savings plan, aka a sinking fund, to be able to pay for that in cash, so that way I don't create any bills. Dory Ellamore, good morning. I'm on vacation but had to stop by. My birthday is tomorrow and I'm trying to reboot. Thanks, Stacey, for doing this. You're so welcome. Happy early birthday. Thank you so much for tuning in. Mary Ann Baker said good morning from the lovely Twin Islands of Trinidad. And is it Tobago? Is that how you say that? Am I don't know why. I mean, maybe the second island is not as familiar. I apologize if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Carolyn Snowden said, good morning, Stacey from Vegas. Good morning, good morning. Faith said, welcome to Africa. Thank you so much. I am enjoying it, to say the least. D Free D said, oh, so beautiful. Thank you so much. Moon Willow, hey. Allison, yeah, it's the same for me while managing money and weight loss. Yes. I would encourage you guys to journal so much. Try to get as many of your thoughts and feelings out on paper, because it allows you to be able to observe what's happening in your mind, and the objective observation of what's going on in your mind uh, empowers you to be able to do something about your experiences in a way that will blow your mind. So, and one of the ways that you guys see that with me is that, like, every month, at the end of the month, I do the budget report cards. That's about me getting everything that I thought I did out of my mind. And if you guys look at some of the budget report cards, like, sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, I got a D, and then I'm like, no, actually, when I think about it, I actually got a B. And it's because the way you carry it in your mind is so different than what it is when you are expressing it on a piece of paper. And it's important to see it objectively, because when it's in your mind, you're like cataloging it with so much other stuff. So if you're doing a weight report card each month or a budget report card each month, it's like objectively saying, okay, well, maybe I lost 2 pounds this month, but this month I drank so and so much of water. This month I finally found out that cheese doesn't agree with me. Like, you're able to see the other things that are involved in your weight loss experience that are not just about dropping the pounds, in the same way that I'm able to see other things that are involved in my debt-free journey that are not about the numbers. But if you guys look at it, me addressing the other things that are involved in the journey is the reason why the numbers are dramatically improving. So that would be my I don't know why I didn't realize I was completely turned to the side there. So yes. RLM3 said, how are you liking Rwanda so far, and will you get a budget update for July? I'll watch your August budget with me video. Yes, you're going to get a budget update for July. Unfortunately, I'm not able to upload videos. I don't know why. I don't know if there's restriction. I don't know why, but my videos are not uploading. So both June and July, June's final budget report card, July's budget report card will go up when I return to the States. And so they should be up by August 15th. So they'll be very late, but they'll be up. Yes. Juju29360 said, good morning, Stacey. Good morning. Allison Robinson said, Moon, as I get better with money management, I see some progress in my head. Okay. Juju29360, will you continue working out while in Africa? Yes. And I've been working out, but you guys know that I had mentioned that I had dropped some weight accidentally. And so the thing that I'm mostly focused on right now while I'm here is increasing my calories to add back that weight. But I want that weight to come back and form into muscle. So the exercises, my trainer showed me exercises to do with bands. So I'm just using bands to do the work. So I say yes, I am working out, but probably not as intensely as I was working out with my trainer, only because I am trying to, I guess people call it gain, but not very much, but a little, yes. Moon Willow, I don't know why I forget money man. She said, Moon Willow said, I don't know why I forget money management is emotional, but it makes sense. Yeah, it's so emotional. Like, money is the same for everyone. The only difference between me and you is our mindset. And our mindset is nothing but our beliefs and our attitude, which is informed by our emotions. Like, money is the same for every single person. Every dollar is a dollar, or whatever your currency is. It's the same. It's universal. But if everybody is experiencing it different, the only thing that addresses the fact that we all experience it different is our emotional world. Because it can't even be the thoughts, because some of us have similar thoughts, but, it's crazy. Hold on, give me just 1 second. I'm going to make sure. So let's see. Juju29360 said, yes, it's true, money touches everything. Yeah, it does. And it's been interesting to see how money has touched my life romantically, and vice versa. So learning to manage for that. Jada Palmer, good morning from Louisiana. Here we call African Americans. Mm, Jada, you are gonna not be able to participate. D038. Good morning, Stacey. I have overcome the emotion of having to have a luxury vehicle and will be turning in my I'm assuming Mercedes, and buying in cash a Hyundai. You have been a huge inspiration. Enjoy your vacay. Thank you so much. That is so good to hear. I'm so honored to be able to inspire you to make really sound financial decisions for yourself. Luxury is awesome. I am a girl who loves luxury, but I am a girl who wants to be able to like afford the luxury that I have. But that it sounds like a wise choice. So I'm super excited for you and the fruits that it will produce in your life now that you won't have that Mercedes payment. Ruby Inspired it said financial issues are the primary reason for divorce. This society is set up to have everything tied to money, finances. It's a deliberate agenda. It was not like this long ago. Possibly. I don't know how it was long ago, but I do know that money, I think, what did they say? Money and sex are the top. Money, sex, and children, I think, are the top reasons for divorce, but money is number one. I get it because it touches everything, and it's so emotional that I get how it can affect nearly impossible to do it. So yeah. Yep. Uh, yep. Let's see. RLM3 said, "Are you in Rwanda for business, personal, or both? If you don't mind me asking." I'm here for both. So my friend brought me out, and I'm helping him like strategically with some of his business stuff. But this is my third time coming to the country, so I feel like I'm just kind of like coming home for a little bit of a holiday as well. So a little bit of both. Probably mostly work, but a little bit of both. So. All right, that is all that I have for you guys today. I've thoroughly enjoyed your company. I will be with you tomorrow. I can't remember what I'm going to be talking about tomorrow, but I will see you tomorrow at 8 a.m. So until tomorrow.